some skipper, man.
But you got my number, you never WhatsApp. No. What I'm saying, what
Let's show unified, setup. All the marshals on the side, as per the brief, as I said, you stick to your brief as marshals. Entry lane, be on the lookout for criminals who are being sent to disrupt this march. There are people about to come and disrupt this march. So what we want you to do, let us do one thing. We do this thing with dignity and respect. Sugalapo, Siziskalala, from here, Siale, Esan City Prison, Joboni Sports School.
Yes.
You understand? Evangel, Siatulala, Siatowa Manchila. Jimmy straight enough.
How are you? Good, good.
Sharp. My name is Kitso. I represent the Soweto movement and the people of Soweto and the artists of Soweto. We are here vandaag in the Union building to deliver a memorandum. We are also having grievance. We want the Minister of Arts and Culture to take cognizance. It happened in the past. Applications were closed 3 times. Consultation without knowing what's going on, and we were told that no, your applications reapply, use a hybrid, go offices. So there were a lot of standing, and we need consultation. Why we are here, it's all about voicing out our frustrations. We are here to be seen. We are to be consulted, and also we are here to be recognized as one of the people who are also driving economical, this driving about the arts as well, how they need to be recognized as one of the driving forces in the economic sector, because at the end of the day you must find out that we as artists also contribute into these things. It's much important for us to be recognized, and we need regulations in this stuff. So these people must listen to us, and whoever that is in charge must listen, and must sit down and consult particular artists. Also here to question our leadership and those who are leading us, to say, you guys, you have been leading us, you're doing one thing over and over again. We are here this year. What is it that is not working? What is it that we need to do? What are the questions that us have they doing the right thing? Have they all the time? We need to ask as well, has their pattern work? Has their work in terms of getting us here, moving forward? What's the way forward? I've said a lot.
down with the NAC not releasing the call for the artists down. Awe mbuzo de Bully Mackenzie, awe. Awe mbuzo de Bully Mackenzie, awe. Fuck off, Gaton Mackenzie, fuck off. Arutabi, Gaton Mackenzie, Arutabi. Amanda. Forward with the fighting spirit of artists, forward. Aisamaye, gangster Aisamaye. Amanda.
Hey, talk.
Ahambe Mackenzie, ahambe. Asimfuni Mackenzie, asimfuni. Forward with engaging artists, forward. Forward with unified access to funding in all provinces for artists, forward. Comrades, we are not scared. We've been threatened. It's not for the first time. We have been fighting for artists for more than 20 years. We have seen Boma Spongile, Bolida Tami fighting on their own. For us to start today, coming in this number, remember this march is not funded. But we are saying, we are not going to allow the dictator who wake up putting a leg in a window somewhere, and then he decides he's going to cancel the MGE funding. Maybe kissing someone somewhere, and then you just decide because I'm the bully, I'm the boss, I'm going to cancel funding. It's not going to happen as long as we are here. So we are saying to you as artists, the NAC also is going to release the call. Those who are going to Grahamstown and they go to the National Arts Council, they are going to go there. The job of leaders is to lead. It's not to be scared. Mackenzie work for us. We don't work for you. Mackenzie got. Because I'm an employee. I really didn't know an employee like that. Siamfuna Mackenzie. Amanda. Forward with access to money, forward. Down with Gaten, the bully, Mackenzie, down. Amanda.
Somewhere
Isha. Amanda, viva, artist, viva. Lisha Pomar. Energy day. Lisha. Strong. They decide to cancel without consulting the organizations and the artists. So that's what Mackenzie did. Na officials work. Asazi ukuthi bamthathe siyamazi ukuthi uyibandinda ngithi bafethu. Away ngamabandindi away. So njengoba sila as a collective laba bangekho abekho nakusasa sazophinda kubuye la. The reason we want to do this, we want to leave the mark so that the next minister Megeza uyazi ukuthi sizophinda senze the same thing. Ayithi sazwana bafethu. So kwamele sibe strong because as leaders thina asabi lutho. We've been doing this thing for a very long time. And some of our leaders, Maslogos leader la, besiphikisana sagcina sezwana. So the unity iyakhula. Right now we understand what. So what we want to make sure that this message yafika ku Mackenzie. But nalabo abapheka ibhodo le GNU bazi ukuthi basinikeze ibhandinda salifundela ibhandinda ngoba lesi siphaza se GNU yise sesiphazamisayo. Angazi noma ngizwa na because manje siphethe iGNU and le GNU silethele uminister ukuthi uyibhandinda. And there's no way minister ngathi mayikhuluma nawe ikutshela ukuthi hamba kwenze yakhe iphathi mawungafuna ukulalela. So that is utter nonsense and we are not going to accept it. Amanda! Viva Free State Artist FIFA! Viva Eastern Cape Artist FIFA! Viva Gauteng FIFA! Viva Northwest FIFA! Viva KZN FIFA! Viva Cape Town FIFA! Viva Ninanonke FIFA! Amanda! Uchanuma Gwala Ache!
Colleagues, because it's important that you understand exactly what our struggle is about, as she will be reading this memorandum. Thank you.
Amanda. Awe umbuzo wa Artists Mge awe. Awe umbuzo wa Gatlozo awe. Awe umbuzo wa Depuli awe. Makahambe Artists Mge makahambe. Fire him, President Ramaphosa, fire him. Amanda. Awe too. We are the people and no one can stop us. We are the people. No one can stop us. Comrade is going to introduce himself and his role. We just wanted to make sure he knows what we want so that he can tell the president to say, these comrades, they are tired of being bullied by your minister. Thank you.
Sanbolan. The guy. My name is Vincent Mge. I'm one of the managers in the president's office. I'm tasked to come and collect the memorandum. When I pick up the memorandum, I take it to the office. They stamp it for the date of today to show that you've arrived, you did deliver the memorandum. That stamp to show that indeed you were here on the 14th of May to deliver the memorandum. And then from there, the committee that deals with the memorandum is going to send it to the minister himself, the one that you said he must go, to explain to the president why these people are here. And then he must give us an answer. Thank you.
I will go through the reasons why we are here today.
President.
Thank you, Mr. Vincent.
Colleagues, let's pay attention. Memorandum, we were going to read it and come and close this office as well. But he came because he understands that the president loves the people and he's our president.
Okay. We, the undersigned leaders and participants of the South African Cultural and Creative Industries Campaign, comprising of thousands of artists, cultural and creative industry workers, creative enterprises, youth platforms, and organizations from across all 9 provinces. We submit this memorandum as a matter of urgent national concern. This is not an ordinary position. This is a declaration of a cultural emergency. The creative sector has long contributed to South Africa's economy, our identity. We've contributed to our global reputation. Recent governance failures, lack of transparency, and political interference have undermined the sector's stability. Artists and cultural workers are suffering, and public trust in key institutions is eroding. Without swift action, the sector risks irreversible damage. This memorandum, on behalf of the South African Cultural and Creative Industries Campaign, urgently calls for government intervention to prevent the collapse and capture of South Africa's cultural and creative sector. The sector is facing a crisis that threatens its institutions, its workers, the ability to attract investment, create jobs, and national cultural legacy. We represent a sector that has sustained national identity. We've contributed billions to GDP. We've employed thousands, and we've told the stories of a democratic South Africa to the world. Yet we are now forced to march. We are now forced to protest and to mourn the woeful dismantling of our sector. We are not here as beneficiaries. We are here as builders of a multi-billion rand creative economy, as workers, as educators, as producers, as custodians and innovators. And we are watching the deliberate erosion of the very institutions meant to protect us and nurture South African creativity and advance our economy. This memorandum does not even contain every grievance. It's only the most urgent. These are not isolated incidents. They are visible symptoms of a systemic breakdown that has hollowed out accountability. It has crippled our institutions, and it has left thousands of creatives abandoned by the structures meant to support them. We call on the presidency to take visible and decisive action to prevent further collapse, state capture, and irreparable reputational harm to the Republic's cultural institutions. Now, I will go into the demands. In terms of the governance failure and leadership crisis, Mr. President, the continued collapse of our institutions is not only being driven by a funding mismanagement, it's a catastrophic failure of leadership. The current minister has undermined the sector through unlawful interference, political intimidation, and sustained betrayal of a constitutional mandate.
Yes.
Let's be clear.
Yeah.
His conduct is incompatible with public office, and his continued presence in his office dishonors all of us. It dishonors the workers and the practitioners and institutions he was appointed to serve. We therefore call on the President to separate the Department of Sport, Arts and Culture into distinct portfolios, restoring arts and culture as an independent ministry with its own dedicated leadership, its own dedicated budget, and its own strategic policy mandate. We want you to appoint, Mr. President, a qualified, credible, and sector-respected minister to lead the arts and culture portfolio. Someone with a demonstrable understanding of cultural policy, artistic practice, and constitutional governance. We have had enough. We want you to publish a presidential plan of action for the protection and the recovery of the cultural sector. Mr. President, this disrespect is throughout the state, from all levels. In the 2025 SONA, we got a passing mention of the burgeoning creative. No vision, no plan, no strategy at national level. We have had enough. We want a plan, a presidential plan. Now, onto the funding crisis. We are witnessing the deliberate erosion of the creative economy's funding infrastructure. It's not driven by a lack of funds, but it's administrative sabotage, legal misinterpretation, and political negligence. Let's start with the MGE, Zanzi Golden Economy. In January of 2025, the department unilaterally cancelled the MGE open call and subsequently compounded the impact by disqualifying all applicants in non-profit companies based on a blatant misreading of the Non-Profit Organizations Act. They violated Section 33 of the Constitution. They breached the Promotion of Administrative Justice Act. They directly contradicted their own policy frameworks and treasury instructions and previous funding practice. And then they unjustly excluded hundreds of eligible, lawfully registered South African organizations, many of whom have decades of compliant public benefit delivery records. This is not a mere mismanagement. It is state-enabled sabotage of the arts. Now we demand the immediate release of all outcomes, scores, and disqualifications from that January call. We demand the reversal of the disqualification of compliant NPCs and the reinstatement of a fair adjudication process no later than the 31st of May. And then we want to sit down with you and we want to revise those MGE funding guidelines together. Now let's talk about the National Arts Council, the collapsed call. There hasn't been funding all year from the National Arts Council for the first time in democratic South Africa. So the fallout has been catastrophic. This is what government doesn't understand. They don't understand the impact. Productions have collapsed mid-development. contracts torn up, entire seasons erased overnight. National cultural platforms have been gutted. People can't get to the national arts festivals. Festivals and school programs and are leaving stages empty, and artists are being silenced. Township and rural creatives have been brutally locked out, with every pipeline to performance, production and income severed. Entire value chains in the creative ecosystems, from lighting technicians, costume designers, to venues, crews and youth ensembles. Everybody has been thrown into survival mode. It's not a scheduling delay. It is, again, a systemic failure of cultural delivery and a direct breach of the department's constitutional mandate to support equitable access to artistic expression and participation. This funding crisis, we therefore demand the immediate release of a 2025 core funding call by the NAC no later than the 31st of May. We want a full review of NAC funding criteria, adjudication influence, staff bias, and structural conflicts of interest. We want a full review. We want, again, to develop a co-designed, transparent, public funding framework to prevent future collapse. Now, let's talk about another funding problem. How people and institutions who have been given money have had their budgets unilaterally cut, some adjust by the department, some with in excess of more than 50%, no conversation, no manners, no respect, nothing, just budget cuts. What must the people do with their projects? So, that is also a breach of law. You can't just arbitrarily cut budgets without giving proper reasons. So we are not here just for the MGE. There are plenty of problems here. And again, these problems are not because of the lack of money. These problems are choices that the department is making to our detriment. I want us to be very clear here what the root problem is. So, by doing this, they violated principles of transparency, equity, and administrative justice. I've got a whole long list of laws. I'm not going to read it here. We'll get it there at the DSAC. So, Mr. President, we demand an immediate presidential moratorium on all discretionary ministerial projects. So, if the minister wants to do a project on his own using our money, we want the president to put a stop to that right now until these issues are sorted. Yes. This includes any events funded outside of core program allocations, award shows, while people are still struggling to see what they're going to do with these slashed budgets. We want a restoration of those slashed budgets to the affected institutions. We urge you, Mr. President, to instruct the Minister of Sport, Arts and Culture to take corrective action or to step aside. This practice by the department of increasingly exercising discretionary authority to reduce or withhold funding from established programs and institutions without prior notice, without published rationale, without transparent criteria. It contravenes the PFMA, and it contravenes the Promotion of Administrative Justice Act, and it also contravenes UNESCO's 2005 convention. Guys, the arts are not failing. They are being failed by a government that no longer honors its promises or its laws. Let's talk about board capture. Under Minister Mackenzie's leadership, the board appointment process across the Department of Sport, Arts and Culture and its entities has become a deliberate tool of political control. Boards are no longer appointed to serve the sector. They are handpicked to serve the minister. and to financially empower his cronies. Senior posts are being filled through opaque processes, favoring personal loyalists and political allies over qualified sector leaders. This includes individuals with no experience in the sector and no mandate from us, who they are supposed to be representing. This, the board capture that the minister is doing, it violates the Constitution, it violates the Promotion of Administrative Justice Act, it violates the PFMA, it violates the NFEF Act, it violates the National Arts Council Act, it violates the Ministerial Handbook and Executive Ethics Code, and it violates, again, our international obligations to the UN and UNESCO. So, this is not just pure governance, this is capture. Let's call it what it is. Now, on the board capture, we call on the president to end this ministerial board capture. We want a forensic review of every appointment that has been made since 2022. We need to identify conflicts of interest, unqualified or unlawfully appointed individuals. They must be removed. We want to see who those panels are, and we want to see the justifications of those appointments. We want a presidential directive to establish a national public appointments framework so that this doesn't happen again. We can't just fix the problems, we must make sure they don't happen again. We want the removal of all board members, CEOs and other officials who are found to have been appointed in breach of legal or procedural requirements, or whose conduct demonstrates political bias, mismanagement or dereliction of fiduciary duties. And then we want to strengthen the legislation. We want amendments to the NFEF Act, to the NAC Act. We want to make sure that there is sector accountability in these board appointments. We want to limit ministerial discretion, and we want to note that board appointments are not deployment mechanisms. They are a constitutional responsibility. Please remember that these are only the urgent concerns. We want accountability for the general dysfunction of that DSAC. Parliament must investigate the minister's abuse of power, his failure to implement and the manipulation of the MGE. Parliament must investigate the DSAC's executive management. Who is enabling the corruption in our institutions? There has to be somebody inside the DSAC who is enabling the corruption. We want to bring them to book. We want to enforce consequences for these violations and the entities. We want a moratorium and a suspension on everything, the board appointments, the discretionary programming, until all these audits have been completed. Now, please hang on to your coats. We're going to talk about the abuse of office, the public hostility and delegitimization of sector voices that the minister has shown on social media. Mr. President, we bring to your attention a matter that has not only shaken the morale of the creative sector, but has fundamentally damaged public trust in the office of the Minister of Sport, Arts and Culture. Minister Gayton McKenzie has used public platforms, including media briefings, social media, official statements, to disparage. He has used them to undermine. He has used them to delegitimize individual creatives, cultural organizations, and dissenting voices within the sector. These attacks have included direct ridicule and defamatory comments targeting artists and institutions. They've also included public threats and insinuations aimed at critics of the department. The weaponization of DSAC's official communication channels to shame, to silence, to isolate stakeholders who question the minister's actions. This conduct is not only unethical, it is unconstitutional. It is not just social media. It is state messaging. When the minister speaks, it is the ministry speaking. When the minister speaks, it is the state speaking. Every reckless utterance, every targeted disparagement, every public smear, and every act of retaliation is carried out in the name of the Republic of South Africa. This conduct not only violates the dignity of citizens, it abuses state authority and creates an environment of fear, of exclusion and reputational harm within the very sector the department was created to serve. It also breaches several laws. So, Mr. President, we ask you to issue a formal presidential reprimand to the minister. We ask you to instruct the minister to issue a public apology. We mandate the development of a sector engagement charter so that we set standards in place, co-designed by the sector. Mr. President, it's no longer a matter of personality or politics. It is a question of state integrity. We urge you to act with the seriousness and the urgency this crisis demands. Then, Mr. President, we demand that you convene a formal joint dialogue with the Portfolio Committee and the DSAC leadership and our organizations no later than the end of June 2025. We are tired. No, we are already tired. We are tired of artists dying in poverty. While they steal, we bury artists. We bury artists who were carrying greatness inside of them that had nowhere to take it. It's a disgrace. And yet the very people who are supposed to be championing our sectors are the ones championing themselves, and nothing ever happens to them. The corruption runs deep. The presidency has a responsibility to act decisively to prevent institutional collapse. We expect a formal response, sir, from the presidency no later than the 20th of May, 2025. If those demands are not addressed by that date, this campaign will escalate. The very next day, we will have nationwide protests and sector strikes.
Definitely.
There will be legal escalation because we have evidence of the administration, the misadministration and the corruption. We've also got options outside our borders. We will put a spotlight on South Africa. We will go to UNESCO, we will go to the UN Special Rapporteur, we will go to the African Union on human rights and people's rights. We are tired. We are tired. We will alert global investors of the risk of doing business with a politically captured sector. Now, sir, I'd like to know that this memorandum is endorsed by a united coalition of cultural and creative sector organizations, including the Association of Entertainers of South Africa, the Cultural and Creative Industries Federation of South Africa, the Cultural and Creative Industries Guild of Africa, the Sisterhood Foundation, I Am for the Arts, the South African Association of Arts Administrators, the South African Arts and Culture Youth Forum, the South African Creative Practitioners Union, the South African Legends Forum, the South African Music Industry Council, the South African Poets Guild, the Tap and Clap Federation, and the Trade Union of Musicians of South Africa. And as you can see, it is further endorsed by the South Africans who consume our content and those who believe in cultural dignity.
Usainamo, asemora.
Sainamo,
Usainamo, asemora logo.
Sainamo,
Sainamo, asemora logo. No sainamo, no sainamo, asemora. 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 No sainamo, no sainamo.
Greetings everyone, my name is Tami Akambongo Manzana. We are here at the march and we support the march because there are very important issues that are raised, especially with the issue of Mzansi golden economy. And I'm glad that the memorandum was read so that people understand what this march is about, because there are a lot of speculation, we understand, and I think the memorandum deals with quite a very important issues that affect everyone in the cultural and creative industry. And now we are going to the ministry to deliver a separate memorandum that also speaks directly to what Department of Sports, Arts and Culture is dealing. It was important to separate the two because the memorandum that goes to President, it talks about the big boss, what the big boss needs to deal in the matters that has to do with the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture. And then the memorandum that is going to the department speaks about the immediate demand that the artists are looking for. So this memorandum is not only speaking for individuals, but it's also speak to the entire sector. And I'm glad that we are doing two separate memorandums.
angibazi. Angibazi mhlawumbe bazo-collect i-memorandum. Amaphoyisa azothatha i-memorandum. Shapo. Sorry? Ke kena kae mo go bona ka tlela photo tsa bona ba tonka photo ka macharona ay put asaze angeke kwazi I put to say to kopela photo fela I put singatshayela nito This is chaotic. We can't have this. We can't have this. They will become violent if you get too close. Don't get too close. Don't give them a reason to be themselves. Don't give them a reason to be themselves. Banje, ningabavumeli babe njani.
Mansour, can drive over there.
Aye, good right. Ngicela nilungise lento kungagcwala abantu la because kuzothiwa we are aggressive. Abantu mabachief. We can't all be close to the police. Kuzothiwa we are aggressive. Let's not be close to the police. Please move, guys. Nathi la akhoke la. I know, but we can't be close to the police because they take it as aggression. That's what I'm trying to say. You can't be close to the police. Move away from the police. Away from the police. All right, Chief. You are aggressive. That's what I'm trying to explain. What are you not understanding here? I understand this thing. I've done it so many times. Clean this up, because I want to go live.
Only national leaders must remain.
Please, guys. Misana my leaders. But not in front of the police. We are aggressive. I'm trying to explain. I just want to take him. That's all. It's not a political party thing. It's exactly what the other ministers have done. They don't want to listen to artists. They want to fight with the state apparatus. There is nothing like this. They will not fight us with the state apparatus. These are the same people who are paid by our tax. And this is the same tax that pays to block us from the access that we have fought for how many years? How many years? Access for this? Come on! Mackenzie's a coward. Minister Mackenzie, you are a coward. You are a coward. Why would you do this? This is a disgusting thing to see. Amapoisa, for what? It's a peaceful march. You're a coward. I had so much faith in you, Mackenzie, and now this is what you do. You're a coward. We are led by cowards. Sekhile buka baqashe ngamapisi. Asinisabi, no problem. Asisabi kwa taxpayers money. Yabahlutha. Kubazoyenzani?
Director, let us all
They are exposed.
This is the beginning of great things. It is either the
what they are saying.
Not we here for this. Asilahleka.
Thank you.
voice. Mark that.
So really cool. I've protected my voice. Okay. My name is I'm the acting DDG.
We're not funded because there's no DG.
No, it's fine then. Then they are not ready. No, then they are not ready to meet with us. If they are sending us about acting DDG.
Undermined by the we will not lose our following in parliament. So we will gonna come. It's not his house.
Support. Now.
Lazy type play.
Abastati serious. Problem yabo. Abastati serious. If abekho ready ukuhlangana nathi, mabahlale emakhaya bangenze emsebenzini. Asisabi thina. Problem yabo ukuthi bakhohliwe. They forget very quickly. If they don't want to come and meet us, we will wait until they decide to come and meet us. The problem yabo, they disrespect. Asna irresponsible. Asna childish. Grown ups here. We are not here to play. We didn't here to play. This is not a garden. See, but we are fair people. No. DG, what acting DG? But to be
Fog off! Fog off! Mackenzie, fog off! Fog off! Mackenzie, fog off! Buchang makola acheche. Achechele morao. Hoya ronaga pilote tata. Buchang makola acheche. Makola acheche. Achechele morao. Hoya ronaga pilote tata. Hoya rona. Hoya rona, hoya rona, hoya rona, hoya rona, hoya rona.
When I say everybody, say flowers, everybody. Thank you so much.
Zimbabwe, which represent people living with disability. And she's also an activist, a very strong activist if you want to know. And she's also a model. ngicela nje simnikeze imaki simhloniphe akhulume nathi.
Alikatala khudla. Sanibonani. Ninjani? Saphila igama lami uSikhala Mkhondo. I'm a graduate for TV and radio presenting. I'm an actress, I'm a model, but for today I am the voice for artists with disabilities. I am born with a disability called CP, Attention Cerebral Palsy. I am not disabled, but because of our government, I am disabled. I am disabled because I have no equal opportunity. Yet the government hides itself and says we're free. Are we free or not? No. I am Skylar Mkhondo. Of course, I'm talented. But unfortunately, the government sees my disability and not my talent. Unfortunately, production houses themselves are excluding artists with disabilities. Open up the industry for me.